Today on Public Eye News, the prosecutor for the Governor Whitmer kidnapping plot case drops out, and Americans weigh in on their thoughts about wearing masks while traveling.
Later, Ava Sahoyan will have your weather, and Andrew Hoover will have your sports update. Hello, my name is Brendan Ford.
And I'm Madeline Plattenberg, and this is Public Eye News. On Tuesday, a federal prosecutor withdrew from the case in the plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer after 2 men were acquitted and the jury was unable to reach a unanimous verdict for 2 more. The judge was notified in a brief court filing by Assistant U.S. Attorney Jonathan Roth, who's not required to give a reason. Roth was one of 2 prosecutors at the high-profile trial, saying the men wanted to kidnap Whitmer and create a war zone here in Michigan. Daniel Harris and Brandon Caserta were acquitted on April 8th. A second trial for Fox and Croft is likely, as stated by the government, but no formal notice has been filed. And the death of a 16-year-old black youth was announced by the Michigan Attorney General's office on Tuesday. Eric McGinney's body was found in St. Joseph River in southwestern Michigan 31 years ago. McGinney's vanished from Benton Harbor on May 17, 1991, and was ruled an accidental drawing after his body washed up on shore. The case has reopened due to reports of a witness in the events of his passing. No charges will be filed in the case, according to Lindsay McCormick, a spokeswoman for the Attorney General. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel said that while our efforts cannot bring Eric back nor render justice in the eyes of the law, we do hope the family is vindicated by our department's confirmation that Eric was indeed the victim of a homicide.
Milwaukee public schools have made face masks mandatory again. A school board vote last month showed favor for a mask-optional policy to be in effect by this past Monday, but due to significant transmission of COVID, the decision has been reversed. Once risk of virus transmission is minimized, the district will have the option to have a mask-optional policy. The schools will ensure that masks are available for the 69,000 students and several staff members. Also in Wisconsin, a public hearing addressing the topic of legalizing medical marijuana took place today. This is the second time a medical marijuana bill has gotten a public hearing in the state, with the first time being back in 2009. Polls are in favor of legalizing both medical and recreational marijuana, but the Republican-controlled legislature has blocked all efforts to loosen the laws. Mary Felskowski, the sponsor of this bill, states that she wishes to find treatment options other than marijuana. The bill states that marijuana legalization would not allow smokable cannabis in order to address issues on secondhand smoke and gain support from Republican lawmakers. It also will limit what medical marijuana can be a treatment for. And a former member of the Bucks front office, who's related to an ex-president, is suing a prestigious school in Milwaukee. Michelle Obama's brother, Craig Robinson, and his wife, Kelly, claim that their 2 young sons were wrongly expelled from university schools in Milwaukee. They say the expulsion was based on concerns they raised about racial bias. CBS 58's Emerson Lamont has more on these concerns.
In the dismissal letter, they refer to our students as portraits of a graduate.
Kelly and Craig Robinson's 2 boys won't graduate from University School of Milwaukee after 5 years and pricey tuition, more than $46,000 for 1 year.
They summarily kicked our 9 and 11-year-olds out of school.
A lawsuit filed in Milwaukee County Circuit Court indicates the Robinsons reported 2 complaints with the school regarding curriculum being taught.
What we saw was a repeated use of racial and ethnic stereotypes in actual assignments.
The real egregious behavior was how they reacted when we shared and raised the concerns about these biases.
The lawsuit alleges the school retaliated against the family by not allowing the 2 boys, described in the dismissal letter as portraits of a graduate, to enroll for the 2021-22 school year.
They were stigmatized by people who assumed they must have done something terribly wrong, which we say could not be further from the truth.
The lawsuit claims the school stated the Robinsons had violated the school's mission statement that encourages respect, trust, honesty, fairness, and kindness. The Robinsons say the school's actions portray the exact opposite, and USM, quote, acted toward its model students of color with none of the respect, trust, honesty, nor even the basic kindness that it mandates with its common trust.
We don't want the University School of Milwaukee to ever do this to anyone again.
After this break, Ava Sahoyan will have your weather update, and we'll be back with national news.
around so many places. The answer to climate change is communities everywhere creating more resilience in the natural world to rebalance the planet. That must be the key that can save us all.
Tonight at 8 on WNMU-TV.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Ava Sahoyan with your weather for the day. Looking behind me at NMU's campus, you can see we've got a gray day, I hope some of you get outside today and enjoy that weather. Looking across the Upper Peninsula, we've got some rain and clouds. Starting in Marquette, it is 42 degrees, Houghton, 42. Ironwood is 43, Iron Mountain, 43, Menominee, 44, Escanaba is 41. Going over to Manistee, it is 41, and in Sault Ste. Marie, it's 44. Right now in Marquette, we're seeing cloudy skies with a temperature of 42 degrees, winds out of the south-southeast at 18 miles per hour, and a barometric pressure of 30.09 inches and falling. Tonight, we're expecting some rain showers, a low of 38, and winds out of the south-southwest at 21 miles per hour. Tomorrow, we're going to see some partly cloudy skies, a high of 47, a low of 32, winds out of the west-northwest at 18 miles per hour. That's looking to later this week. Starting on Friday, we're going to see partly cloudy skies, a high of 45 and a low of 40. On Saturday, we're expecting thunderstorms, a high of 37 and a low of 53. And on Sunday, we're expecting partly cloudy skies, a high of 62 and a low of 37. And up next, more national news.
Thank you, Ava, for that weather update. Continued support for mask requirements among Americans is strong for those who may be traveling on airplanes and on other shared transportation. The mask mandate for transportation has been put on hold due to a federal ruling by a federal judge. 56% of Americans favor wearing masks on planes, trains, and public transportation, while 24% oppose and 20% neither favor nor oppose, according to the Associated Press NORC Center for Public Affairs Research. Unless the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention deems it unnecessary, masks will not be enforced. And outside a northern Arizona town on Tuesday, heavy winds kicked up a towering wall of flames, ripping through 24 structures, sending residents in homes fleeing. The rising flames reached 100 feet, gathering through a portion of scattered houses with dry grass and ponderosa pine trees. Wind is up to 50 miles per hour on the outskirts of Flagstaff. According to Coconino County officials, 766 homes and 1,000 animals have been evacuated. An emergency was declared by the county after the wildfire spread from 100 acres to 9 square miles by Tuesday morning. And Ukraine's president says the situation in Mariupol is getting worse, with hundreds of people wounded. Fighters there are resisting Russia's latest ultimatum for them to surrender, even as Russia continues its bombardment of the port city. Most Russian forces are now pivoting to a new phase in the war with an all-out offensive in the eastern of the country. Skylar Henry reports from the White House, where the president will be meeting later today with U.S. military leaders.
The Russian Defense Ministry released new video Wednesday of what it says is more than 1,000 attacks on Ukrainian targets. In the besieged city of Mariupol, Russian forces have surrounded the steel plant where Ukrainian soldiers and civilians have hunkered down. A Ukrainian Marine says, "We're facing our last days, if not last hours. The enemy outnumbers us 10 to 1. Russia is also intensifying its attacks on the eastern part of Ukraine. It's sending more forces to an area known as the Donbas region, which is important to Ukraine's economy. The U.S. is preparing a major new shipment of artillery and ammunition to Ukraine, rushing to get it there in time to be used against the Russian offensive.
We do the best we can with each package to tailor it to the need at the time. And now the need has changed, because now the war has changed, because now the Russians have prioritized the Donbas area, and that's a whole different level of fighting, a whole different type of fighting.
The UN says more than 5 million people have now fled the war-torn country, and what is Europe's worst refugee crisis since the end of World War II. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
After this break, I'll be joined by Andrew Hoover with an interesting sports update. Stay tuned.
On Call the Midwife.
In the absence of nurses Crane and Franklin, we do have something of a build-up.
I have some squatters, and one of them appears to be about to have a baby.
We haven't spoken about it since it happened.
What is there to say?
Grief has its own timetable.
Midwifery may prove to be rather demanding. Your state of mind concerns me.
Sunday night at 8 on WNMU-TV.
Hey, my name is Andrew Hoover, and I am your sports analyst for today. Dryden McKay, the NCAA's Men's Hockey Player of the Year and Hobie Baker Award winner, has been banned for 6 months on a doping violation. McKay, who plays as a goaltender for Minnesota State, was the top NCAA men's player this past season. McKay, who wasn't selected in the NHL draft, is now entering his pro career as a free agent and is now facing a six-month ban for the doping violations. A urine sample taken by the USADA detected ostarine, a muscle growth drug that is not FDA approved and banned by the United States Anti-Doping Agency. McKay stated that the amount was trillionths of a gram and provided no direct performance benefit and likely came from immune-boosting supplements taken during COVID protocol. McKay will be next eligible to play in October and will be hoping to begin his professional career this coming season. And Liverpool FC hosted Manchester United yesterday for a match that ended in a major 4-0 loss for Manchester. Luis Diaz opened scoring with a great goal in the 5th minute, and Liverpool continued to put goal after goal in against Man U with a double from Salah and a goal from Sadio Mane. Liverpool and Man U have been playing whole different games this season, with Liverpool pushing for a possible quadruple, close to winning the league, both the domestic cups and the premier European competition. Meanwhile, Man U are on track to finish with their worst points record in history under new manager Ralph Rangnick. Liverpool sit in first with 6 more games, and Man U sit in 6th with 5 games left. And a former Detroit Red Wings Zamboni driver is suing the team for discrimination after being terminated for peeing down a maintenance drain. Al Sabatka, a longtime Zamboni driver for the Red Wings, was a fan favorite for his tradition of collecting the octopus thrown on the ice by fans. The team's mascot, Al the Octopus, is even named after him. Sabatka was terminated, however, after another colleague found him urinating into a sewer drain in the maintenance rooms. Sabatka, who suffers from benign prostatic hypertrophy, often finds it very difficult to make it to the restroom due to his condition. Sabatka said that at the time he was caught, he couldn't make it to a bathroom that was 70 feet away in a maintenance room away from the view of fans and part of a male-only maintenance team. Sabatka is now suing the team for compensatory damages, alleging discrimination against his disability, stating that the firing violates the Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act in Michigan. The Red Wings, who have recently been knocked out of playoff contention, have not commented on the lawsuit. And Brendan, is it true that you might have a couple more stories for us tonight?
I do, actually. If you're using a friend's Netflix account, you might want to reconsider. Netflix has had a huge loss in subscribers and is considering experimenting with ads, as well as charging extra pay to use Netflix in different households. The company has lost nearly 200,000 subscribers just in their last quarter, which has resulted in the loss of several shareholders that they once had, as their market is beginning to see a steep drop. Netflix is expecting subscriber count to drop to another 2 million just in the next quarter. And an Illinois man thought he might have accidentally swallowed a dentist's tool during a dental checkup. When doctors examined, they realized he didn't swallow it, but he inhaled it while coughing. Luckily, doctors were able to use a new tool for early detection of cancer and reach the drill piece deep in the man's lung without causing any harm. Now that's terrifying, you know. Every time I go to the dentist, it's usually a very safe visit, but I can't imagine having something like that happen.
Yeah, usually those fears people have of the dentist are pretty unfounded, but...
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say it's very validated with this instance right here.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. Well, it looks like that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us here at Public Eye. My name is Brendan Ford.
I'm Andrew Hoover.
Have a nice day.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.